And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday. It's June 24th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a Thursday, and we've got a tremendous day going for us. I hope it's that way with you. We're glad to be on the air for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon, the dealer. Don't trade for anything you don't eat. We've got our usual two this morning. Paul Tubbs, Dealer Operations Manager. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Ronnie Kelly is here in sales. Good morning, Ronnie.
Good morning.
And, of course, what have we been talking about? Baseball.
Little baseball.
Oh, what a game last night. What a finish. And
Yeah.
if you didn't see it, you missed it. Vanderbilt pulled it out with 2 outs in the 9th inning. You thought it was all over. It ain't over till it's over. And what Yogi used to say?
That's what he used to say. Well, I think they got a little lucky, but sometimes you better be lucky than good.
I've heard that, and I agree.
But I have to give credit to the little leadoff hitter. He did get a clutch hit, and then the next guy. But, it was a heck of a game. I enjoy watching that college baseball about as much as I do. I watched a lot of that girls' fast pitch, and then I watched that college baseball. It's good to watch.
Yeah. Ronnie, you like the baseball? Not as much as Paul.
Yeah, I watch baseball a lot, but college I get some of it, and I like the little league baseball, and when I get into a lot of, I go to a lot of tournaments, go to a lot of games.
Well, we appreciate you being with us and the money you spend here. And I was just thinking, as much as you like baseball, you probably sponsor some of the teams that play around.
Yes,
We do, and Tony's gracious enough to try to do that kind of stuff. He likes being involved in the community stuff. But we had a plaque delivered to us this week from Rick Smith from Lebanon Youth Baseball, where Bates Ford sponsors a team. They brought us a picture of the team, and we do the outfield signs. We do Lebanon High School, with Watertown, Wilson Central. I do Mount Juliet. I got a friend of mine that's daughter plays for Green Hills. So we try to spread it around. But one of the things that me and Tony strongly believe in is the people that buy vehicles from us. We try to support them because they support us. Nothing's more frustrating than seeing a Honda or a Nissan coming asking for a donation from a Ford dealer. I'd rather, that's one of the things we try to keep it internal. If somebody buys cars from us and they got kids, and we do support the ones that support us. So that's something we do.
Well, Ronnie, how's your week going?
it's going on real good, man. We got a lot of sales going on. And the vehicles that we got here, we don't have a lot of new ones, but we got a lot of used vehicles, and we hope that, if people have something that they want to turn into cash, to bring it in. And we will turn it into cash. And Paul is doing it every day. Everywhere we turn around, we got folk that we asking, if you need to sell your vehicle, please bring it in.
You've had several people who have done this. Just
a lot. I was amazed at the amount of people that's brought vehicles. We had 3 or 4 yesterday. We bought a couple we couldn't, but that's just, we give you an offer. If you want it, we'll go get you a check and here's your money. If not, then my cousin bought a Mustang 7 months ago, and it sat in his garage. He drove it 3,000 or 4,000 miles. He called me and said, "Hey, you interested in buying it back?" And we did, and we had a couple yesterday. We did get a new F-150. It's a nice 4-wheel drive F-150. We got one in yesterday, so that's promising that we got a couple of Rangers in last week, so hopefully it's starting to turn loose. We can only pray.
Yeah. Well, but if you don't have the new ones, you sell the used ones.
Right, we sell the used ones, and we thought Paul was crazy. One week he bought one that had about 4,000 miles on it, if it had that many. And we thought, man, he paid good money for it, but it sold last night.
Yep. Just keep plugging. That's what I keep telling Mr. Bates every day anyway.
Well, people, the transportation needs are there, and it's, I guess, it's the economy is good enough that people got money and they're going to buy it.
Well, cars are kind of like houses, unfortunately, right now. It's just a lot of demand and low supply, especially on the new end. So, unfortunately, when that happens, the market goes up. But right now, the market's very promising. If somebody's got something they want to sell, they would probably be thoroughly surprised.
We can't talk long about Bates Ford without talking about your oil change. Still the cheapest in town, and it's a great deal. It's just a great deal.
Right, $24.95. I had a customer actually whose granddaughter had been going to a quick oil change place, and she'd been paying like $80, and they came to us, and then she was just astonished that for $32 out the door. She got her oil change, got everything checked out, got a inspection on her vehicle, and she was like, I can't believe the difference. But that's something that we do is we try to keep it as low priced and making sure we take care of the people, the customers.
And if they do in that inspection find something that warrants another car, Ronnie's waiting in the wings.
Yes.
Aren't you?
Yes.
So, come on over. Let me show you what you need.
We'll take care of it. We'll definitely take care of it. I got to tell a story on my buddy this morning before I leave. We was in the sauna this morning, and somebody said, where's the other man at? They said, well, he's out there talking to somebody. Then somebody said, well, he got to go to the radio station this morning. He got to get ready. I said, well, maybe his truck won't start or something. He got that much time because I got to get there myself. He left an hour before time.
You could have gave Chris a ride over here if you had to. You could have gave Mr. Dow a ride over if you needed to jump his Chevy off.
Well, we try to make as much fun out of your visit as we can, and hopefully get people talking about you. But when you came up with this line years ago, it pretty much says it all. The dealer to trade for anything it don't eat.
That's Tony Bates's baby. During the 2008 when times were tough, he started, and he would he bought some kind of skid steer this week. He's trailers, lawnmowers, boats. I mean, that's his pride and joy. He loves it and he stands by it. One thing I will let you know is Ronnie Kelly will be a solo act next week. I'll be on special assignment, taking my 13U baseball team down to Gulf Shores to a World Series, Perfect Game World Series. So I'll be on special assignment next week.
Well, we'll miss you, but Ronnie, we'll have more time to talk about you.
Right.
Probably more about cars than we do the other stuff.
And we get the oil changes in. We get them in.
And don't forget tires and batteries too at Bates Ford.
Right. We'll beat anybody's price on tires, and we got one of the cheapest batteries, $134.95, 100-month warranty, 3-year free replacement, and we install it for free on most vehicles.
Well, it just doesn't get much better than that, I'll tell you. Paul Tubbs, Deal Operations Manager, Ronnie Kelly in sales at Bates Ford, 1673 West Maiden, Lebanon. Dealer trade for anything you don't eat. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you much. We're 11 after the hour, and Chris Dowell joins us this morning, our fire chief, and for the city of Lebanon, of course. And he comes here once a month to be my guest and improve our ratings that day.
That's right.
What was that about you saying you hate Vanderbilt?
No, I mean, yeah, when it comes to anybody else being in it, but right now I have to pull for them. I really, there's a lot of local guys that's on that team, man, and I think that's awesome. So Vanderbilt it is. Vanderbilt or Mississippi State.
Yeah, and it's very possible that they could meet in the finals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very possible.
Well, Mississippi State is got to win one more game.
That's it. And they're there. That's right.
Since they lost, they got to win 2, and they got an uphill battle, but it's not impossible.
Right. Well, no, Vanderbilt don't have to win 2, I don't think.
Well, they got beat by.
Yeah, I know, but it starts next Monday, right?
Yeah, but they're not there yet.
They win one more game. They do.
They've got to win 2 more. They've got to beat NC State. NC State beat them.
Right.
All right, they got to beat them
twice. That's right.
NC State's got to lose twice
that's
before
right.
they're out, and that's an uphill battle.
Yep, it is. But it is what it is. After last night, anything's possible. I can tell you that.
If that didn't prove it, what?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. They were still in good shape because the game was tied. So. Just go
tied when the 9th inning started.
It wasn't no 9th inning, but that wild pitch, the game was tied. So
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But it's and I'll agree with all of you. Lucky, whatever.
Well, that's part. You got to build that in. I mean, the ball could have bounced the other way too. So you never know.
I'm gonna tell you, I felt so sorry for that Stanford pitcher because he had done everything right. Since he had come in the game and with 2 outs in the 9th, and I think he walks the guy.
Right.
The next one gets the base hit.
Right.
Runners on first and second. You get a hit to the outfield, run scores, and the game is tied.
Right.
And then that awkward throw to first, and then the wild pitch.
Yeah.
The game is over.
The game is over just like that. Yeah. But I mean, you can't knock that they didn't have a good season either. So I mean, these teams when they get down, even Tennessee, when they get down to you're making it to Nebraska. That's saying something.
You're
so
one of 8.
You're one of 8. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So
Well, is your Tennessee coach going to stay at Tennessee?
I don't know.
LSU is looking for a coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't really keep up a whole lot with,
We need to ask Mike Jennings, don't we?
Yeah, you'd probably need to ask Mike.
Well, I did hear.
I'm a big UTM fan, so.
I heard that that it's down to 3, and he wasn't one of them, which must mean he probably told him no.
Oh, LSU?
No, the guy at Tennessee, Coach Tennessee, is probably staying there. LSU's down to 3, but he's not one of them. He must have told him no.
Told him no, yeah, because
I'm
they'd
guessing.
be vowing for him, so.
Well, what's happening to the fire department? I know you got a race that you want to talk about. We don't have time. We got to go to a break in a minute. But any breaking news out of the fire department?
I know, budget passed, and so we'll see what that entails when I get into
talked
it.
about you in the budget.
And there ain't no doubt. He's always talking about me doing something. There ain't no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
All right, Chris Dowell is here. We'll talk about the fire department. When we come back, this is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Exmark large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's busy out here, but it's moving on 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area. All that traffic flow continues to come in from Rutherford County. Quite heavy, actually, this time of the morning. Same goes for I-40 East, but it's moving up through Kingston Springs. Behind it, you got that traffic in from Dixon County. OHB at Copperville Way. That appeared to be a minor wreck over in the Brentwood area. Ripley's Aquarium, Sleep of the Sharks Family Edition is something the kids and the grandkids will love. Check it out at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Chris Dowell, our fire chief, was with us this morning, and you were telling me during the break here you're kind of running thin at times.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we ran a lot of overtime last year. And so, and it was, I wouldn't say built in overtime, but that's how we ran. That's how we manned the station, was overtime. In this budget, he did give me five people. And I asked for 12, but I got 5. But sooner or later, we're going to have to bite the bullet and go ahead and get those others. And I'm already lobbying for next year's budget because I know it's not going to work. But we'll make do until something happens,
Well, I guess you as fire chief have to be concerned when you see all the building that's going up. And every day when I pass, go by the bypass over here,
oh, yeah,
where used to be a hay field and all that building that's going on now.
Yeah. I mean, it's that bad. I mean, everywhere you turn, they're sticking something up. There's not going to be a blade of grass here for long except what they bring in. And put in somebody's flower pot. That's how much grass you're going to see here for long, it seems like. So I know there's all kinds of concerns. There's water concerns. You start taking away soil and putting pavement and asphalt, concrete, and all that stuff down. So, and people wonder sometimes why it's flooding. Well, there you go. But and I know growth is coming. Actually right now we're the fastest county that's growing so far. So. It just puts a strain on everything, and I'm going to put my county commission hat on here for a second. And, when the schools come up and they need more money for this or for that or whatever, and then you get to looking back, okay, Lebanon's building all them houses. How come we might need to get some more money from Lebanon? We need to get some more money from Mount Juliet. That's just the way I look at it. So stay tuned.
Well, one thing we haven't mentioned, and I don't know if you participated, but I believe the fire department won the outhouse race over at
that suits us to that suits our title to a T. It seems like at times we're in the outhouse. But no, yeah, we did. We participated in that. We'll participate in anything. Anytime it involves the community, we try to get out and show our love sometimes to.
Well, that was there's some pretty steep competition there, I think, and y'all
I
came out
mean,
on top.
yeah. Well, I mean, that really, sooner or later, they're not going to invite us to these competitions because we win every one of them. So sooner or later, they will not invite us to any of them.
Sheriff texted you yet this morning?
He hadn't yet, but I mean, but the thing about it is, I mean, he can build a super regional, super duper team over there, and he still can't beat us. I mean, ain't nobody in Wilson County can beat us. And if you're listening right now, bring up a challenge. I don't care if it's playing tic-tac-toe. We'll beat you in that too.
You ever heard of Dizzy Dean? Dizzy Dean was a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals and later a broadcaster. But you're bragging here.
That's
bragging.
right.
He says it ain't bragging if you can do it, partner.
That's right. That's exactly right. I got faith in my guys. They can do it. Most definitely they can do it.
Well, I know they appreciate you saying that. That's good PR for you as their boss, I guess.
That's right.
What else is going on? It's a good old summertime.
Yeah, I mean, the grass fires are picking up. We had one day before yesterday on Bluebird. So just be very, very leery when that wind is blowing. Sometimes we turn people down for burn permits because the wind's blowing. And even though, they got track hoes and bulldozers and all of that stuff, they think that they are covered. They're really not. The wind is no match for a bulldozer. I've seen one of them go up in smoke too, up in flames too. So when we say no, it's for a reason. We ain't trying to stop you or slow the process down or whatever. Technically, we don't want to get out there and have to fight it like there are in California right now. So we don't have to deal with that.
Do you ever have anybody to defy you? You tell them no, you will not give them a burn permit, and they do it anyway.
Oh yeah, and usually we find them, or we try to get the steepest penalty that there is. Sometimes we tell them no, and they'll go ask my boss. They'll ask whoever, how come this can't be done or whatever. And sometimes you just have to show them, And I've make no bones about it.
Now, do you get overruled by your boss ever like that?
No, unless they want to go fight it. That's what I tell them. I mean, it goes all the way back to Philip Craighead, Bernie Ash, even Don Fox when he was in or whatever. Okay, as long as you sign on the dotted line, I'm fine with it. But nobody wants to put their name on that dotted line when it comes to it.
Yeah.
And so,
what kind of fine would you go to court or?
Oh, yeah, we'll cite them in the court. Especially after we've done told them no.
Make the decision, or to go before a jury?
Especially if they burn up, 9 times out of 10, they're not burning their own stuff. They're burning somebody. It's always happens to somebody else. They get over on somebody else's property. So, they're putting firefighters' lives in danger too, because we done told them no, that it was dangerous, And so, once you tell them no, then all aspects of being a fireman and saying that, okay, that's your job. No, my job was to tell you no because we know it's dangerous and you went and done it anyway. So here's your fine. And then sometimes I've never seen it happen in Lebanon, Wilson County, or it might be in Murfreesboro a little bit, or Nashville don't let them burn at all. So, and I don't think Mount Juliet does either, but I mean, it could be jail time. It is what it is. It's actually arson when you tell somebody no. So,
well, that's quite serious. But hopefully they will listen.
And when it gets hot like that, I mean, it's just common sense stuff, And we've got contractors out there that are from here, around here, that you can go to and tell them no, and they understand the wind conditions and how dry it was. And if you get one of these contractors from Arkansas or Alabama or something like that, they live in Arkansas or Alabama. They don't care nothing about Lebanon. And so they'll set it on fire anyway. And then that's when you try to put them in jail. That's exactly what you try to do. You're going to respect, if you're going to come to this town, you're going to respect us also. So
yeah.
It's just the way I see it.
Well, hopefully it can be worked out. But if it's not suitable to burn, it's not suitable.
It's not suitable to burn, and there's a reason for it. sometimes all you got to do is step outside and open your eyes. You know what I mean? And you can see, okay, it's dry and the wind is blowing.
Well, one of the worst things could happen. Don't. Hopefully, our topography is not so conducive to that. But something happened in the Smoky Mountains years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that burned so badly, and then of course you hear about what's been happening out west here because it's so dry.
Right, but in the
Somebody
city,
can be careless and start one of those and do unending damage.
well, it just gets back to what I was talking about when we first started this conversation. Though I'm actually it's getting better for the city of Lebanon because all we got is pavement and concrete now. So it ain't much unless you go out into the God's country out here behind me in Tucker's Crossroad or Gladeville. Gladeville's growing a little bit more. It's growing faster than I thought. But out east and north, it ain't doing so
Well,
much
by the
growth.
way, speaking of Gladeville and thinking of the races over the weekend and the big one Sunday afternoon, was our fire department involved in that at all?
No,
No.
we were not. I think WEMA, the sheriff department, the police department was out with some bomb dogs or traffic or doing something. So we were not.
Was how I didn't talk to anybody about this. I'm just wondering how traffic was down there. Was it?
You don't have to talk to anybody. All you got to do is look on Facebook and you can see it. They was backed
I'd
up
stay
2 or 3
away from
miles.
that as much as possible.
Well, they was backed up 2 or 3 miles, and I think that was probably 3 or 4 hours before the race, and so it sounded like it was a nightmare. I didn't get anywhere near it, so I watched it on TV, and I had tickets for Friday night's truck race, but I was like, man, I ain't going out there and getting in that melee, and so
Well, there probably Sunday would have been with 40,000 people, maybe.
yeah, you can say that, but you count the infield and all the racers, and you're probably looking at somewhere 45,000 people. And not all of them are cars. I understand that 2 ride to a car, 3 to a car, or whatever, but it's a lot of traffic. I'm sure it took them a while to get out of there.
Let me ask this. This is summertime, of course. Most of your people take their vacation maybe June, July, August.
Oh me,
Why
no!
are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I can't. There is no such thing as vacation at the fire hall right now. I mean, we're having to call these people in for overtime, so they get it sporadically, and so sooner or later, everything. Hopefully, we get some people hired, and this will all calm down. But right now, we're in agreement, and we're trying to do our best to I guess what you'd say baby them, because we are asking a lot of them. I mean, it ain't like the other departments in the city of Lebanon. They might be doing the same thing. I don't know. I'm not their department head. I can just see what my department's doing, but we tried to like I said, baby them because we need them.
Well,
We need them
if
to
somebody's
come in.
been there a certain period of time? They got what?
We got up
2
to-
weeks.
They got some of them. No, it runs by hours now, so you'll have to be there. The ones that just been there 20 years or something like that, they got 4 weeks, and so 4 weeks, the holidays, the Kelly days.
Well, if you're not having vacation now, that time's building up.
It just rolls over to the next year, and then and that's not fair. That's not fair that they can't take it because we can only let so many people off at one time, and so when that happens, the calendar will fill up. I mean, you can start saying, okay, you got to take off this day, you got to take off this day, and we still don't have enough room on the calendar for all these people to get their time in if they wanted to use everything they had. So, but
Well, by the way, you said you're going to get 5 new ones in the budget, so that means you're going to be hiring, or?
yeah, I think it's going through the process right now. So, hopefully we'll get those people hired. The worst part about it is they don't go to school. They don't go to what we call it is fire college until I think it's in August. And so that's the heat of the summer, but we had to get them in. We got to get them in and get their butts back over here in the seat. So, and they won't get out until October. So it runs roughly 3 months.
So there's somewhat of a challenge there while they're going to the fire school, being trained.
Oh, we've been challenged for I can show you on paper, we've been challenged for the last year. We're calling 4 people in per day if we can get them.
So that's some of the overtime you were alluding to earlier. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean.
But you still got a pretty happy bunch, haven't you?
Yeah, until we start getting into they can work 72 hours. They can work 72 hours. They can't work 72 hours in a row. So we have to give them a break and then bring them back in to work some more. So it's tough. Some of them work, 2 shifts in a row and take off a shift and work 2 more shifts in a row. So, it is what it is. So we're going to suffice.
Hours.
Oh, yeah. We're going to suffice until we get those new people in and see how that interacts with, our planning.
All right. Well, you keep on keeping on. We'll see you next month, and hopefully our ratings will go up again when you come back.
You talked about Robert, but he must be on vacation or something. I don't know, man. He ain't text me this morning. He ain't text me, so
you're talking about.
He's probably asleep.
That's it for part 1. Stay with us for more on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $49.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax, and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still quite a bit of traffic volume out here on I-40 coming in from Mount Juliet, but at least it's better than it was yesterday morning at this time. As you make your way through the Mount Juliet area, traffic's on the increase 65 up through Brentwood, Franklin, OHB at Copperfield Way in Brentwood. That wreck should be over to the side here in just a few minutes. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check out all their flavors at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
I do a lot of thinking while I'm driving. I think about my kids, my grandkids, and my insurance business. When's the last time you thought about having your insurance program reviewed? This is John Bryan with THW Insurance. We're an independent, trusted choice insurance agency representing several top-rated insurance companies like Westfield Insurance Company. Give me a call at 615-443-3849 for a no-obligation review of your current insurance plan. THW Insurance Services, serving Lebanon and Wilson County for decades.
Hey, this is Paul from Bates Ford, and we got some great things going on. We got the Works Vehicle Package for $49.95. Also, we'll meet or beat anybody's price on tires. And on the sales ends, if you got anything that you want to turn into cash, whether it's a vehicle, boat, camper, motorcycle, anything you want to turn into cash, bring it to Bates Ford and we'll buy it. If you got a vehicle you want to get rid of, certainly bring it to Bates Ford for a cash offer. That's Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat.
Today's forecast calls for lots of sunshine and highs in the upper 80s. On Friday, skies will be a mix of sun and clouds with a slight chance of a pop-up shower. For Saturday, scattered showers are in the forecast, so keep the umbrella handy. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman & Company, welcome to part 2. Here on this Thursday morning, it's time for us to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon. I don't know whether Heather's forgotten about us or is on special assignment or too busy this morning, but she's not here. She hasn't called in, and again, we'll just tell you a little bit about the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon. Located at 1409 Medical Center Drive, it's just north of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Instead of turning in at the emergency room, go one street further. You'll find them down there on the right. And they've been with us for, this August. Next 2 months from now, I think it'll be 5 years. They've done great. They last report, we're full up at this time, offering, of course, both
assisted living and memory care. And we'll talk a little bit about both of them this morning. But Heather Sadler Gallagher is the marketing director and the currently is interim administrator, and they are, of course, doing well. If you have a problem and you can't find what you need there, she's been known to help you find something else right here in our area to help you get through a challenging time. But that's what it's all about, helping one another, and she is certainly wanting to do that. Again, reminding you a little bit about the assisted living. The Pavilion Senior Living is licensed by the state of Tennessee. It's staffed 24 hours a day by certified staff, and you can rest assured that the residents receive the best care and support by trained staff who truly care about the residents' well-being. They strive for the residents to maintain the highest level of independence while supporting and assisting with activities of daily living. And the Pavilion Senior Living offers memory care for residents who are facing Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. The program is designed to be resident-focused by creating an individual plan that includes a person's life, skills, interest, and routine into a personalized plan. The program has been designed to encompass every detail, including the design of our community, specialized training for the team, programming for activities, culinary selections in coordination with their clinical services. They want to help the residents feel comfortable in their new home. I believe we have Heather on the phone now. Heather, are you there?
I am. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. I'm just on a roll here talking about all you've got to offer at the Pavilion Senior Living. You can pick it up where I left off.
You did a wonderful job. I just can let you continue.
No, I think it's good to hear your voice. You doing okay?
I am.
Are you in Lebanon, Tennessee?
I am in Lebanon. Yes, I am. I was getting the girls ready for camp.
Okay. Well, what else you got for us?
Well, we're taking our building is completely full for assisted living. I do have one opening that came open in memory care, so we've got a couple people that have already got their name on the wait list for that. So we'll contact them, and so we're telling everybody if they are thinking about assisted living or memory care or have any we're looking into the future, give us a call so we can get you on our wait list, because we'll work through our wait list when we have any openings for sure. So I tell everybody that it's good for us to have a wait list, but sometimes if it's last minute, it might not be so good for you guys. So, give us a call and let us see if we can help walk you through the process or just answer any questions. And, being put on a wait list doesn't commit you to anything either.
We have, you have mentioned this, we've alluded to it a little bit, that you got more coming, and I just wonder if work is being done on that or if it's on hold right now.
No, it's we're starting to move a little dirt on. If you look at our building, and it's going to be on the. Let me make sure I get this right. It's kind of the east side, where right when you pull in the medical center drive, right there. Mm-hmm. We've got plans for. I think the first phase is 27 or 28 independent living cottages. So the earth is starting to move, so they've got to do some clearing out and some groundwork before we'll see much action. But that should be starting here in the next couple months.
Okay. You must have done a little scouting around, a little surveying. I take it there's a pretty good demand for that, or you wouldn't be going on such a mission.
Well, we've done several different market studies with some national companies, and so not only do we know Lebanon, we got some other people to tell us what the market would hold for Lebanon. What the report came back is what we knew was right. So yes, there is an extreme need for independent living in Wilson County. Now, this will also make our campus, the Pavilion campus, continuous care retirement community, which is called a CCRC. So it'll have independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled, and long-term care, all on that campus. That's a pretty big deal. There are only a few of those in the state of Tennessee. So for Wilson County to have one, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you like projects like this, and I think you thrive on seeing something start and go all the way to completion. That's kind of my what I have observed from you. So this has got to be an exciting time.
It is. I do love a project. So I'm excited to be part of this one. We've already done some focus groups too with some seniors in Wilson County. So to kind of get their feedback of what they're wanting, and we looked at floor plans. Well, we didn't like this. Let's move it to here. So we've done 4 or 5 different focus groups on this project.
All right. Well, let me remind everybody your website, www.thepavilionseniorliving.com. You can also reach Heather at 615-444-5556. Thanks for being with us. I hope that's it for Thursday morning.
That's it. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Heather Sadler-Gallagher, the marketing director for the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon. 20 before the hour, and boy, I'll tell you what, I'm excited to introduce to you, my guest this morning, Mr. Jack McCall. Jack, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is good to see you. It's good to have somebody to talk to, first of all, but I just continue to enjoy the newspaper columns that you write. In fact, I had seen it the other day and was really busy and didn't read it at the time. I got it out this morning and read it just to make sure you were talking about the good old summertime and about bare feet and calloused hands.
Yeah, the good old summertime. My granddaughters will ask me from time to time to tell them about the olden days. And so I thought the olden days were when my grandparents were living, or my parents were living. But now I guess I can tell my grandchildren about the olden days. So I tell them about stepping on honeybees and rusted nails and all those kind of things.
Yeah, you and I both experienced a little bit of that. But most of us years ago would go barefoot in the summertime.
All summer.
Yeah.
All summer.
And those things go with it. I've stuck a nail in my foot. I've had a honeybee sting me on the foot when you stepped on him, and of course that's self-defense in his part.
Loretta Lynn in her famous song, Coal Miner's Daughter, said, in the summertime we didn't have shoes to wear, but when the winter came, we all got a brand new pair. That's kind of the way it was.
Yeah, right. Well, for those of you who are not familiar, Jack's been here a number of times. He's not what we'd call a regular, but I try to get him out here, and especially when I have a slot to fill, like I did this morning. It's always good to have you, and you're quite an accomplished speaker. And of course, with COVID, your speaking engagements almost came to a screeching halt.
Everything canceled for everything. At least last year. I'm doing one in Las Vegas this September that I was supposed to do last September for a credit union group, and everything else canceled. I had one. I was doing a bank down in Lewisburg, Tennessee, actually Waynesboro, and that canceled. But it's back on. And then I recently booked Dairy Farmers of America, which I'm doing July 1st in Nashville. So that's coming up a week from today. So things are beginning to get a better feel again, but I don't think it'll ever be the way it was. Yeah. The speaking business really took a big hit.
How much preparation do you do when you're going to speak before a big group of people like this in Nashville? I assume it's a pretty good, maybe a few thousand people you're going to talk to. You're there to provide some, probably, I guess, entertainment.
Right. As a matter of fact, this is a southeastern dairyman group, which they'll want a southern flavor to it, and they'll understand the way I talk. And so actually, Coleman, you kind of write your speech over the years, and for this one, I'll probably spend an hour, but I'll just pull together the stories that I've told that will work for this group. Uh-huh. And it's always good to do a little research and throw out a few lines and let them know you kind of know where they're coming from. But your basic stories are what you do, and they wanted me to talk about the challenge of change, which the dairymen are really facing. It's a tough place to be right now.
Well, you've probably milked a few cows.
I've milked a few cows and seen my dad milk a cow. And one of the funny things my brothers and I used to do when Daddy would milk a cow, invariably either the cow would hit him in the face with a soggy switch of her tail, or she'd step in the milk bucket, with a manure laden foot. And it's the only time my dad used the foul language, and my brothers and I, and he'd always keep a tobacco stick close by. And my brothers and I would slip to the barn knowing he was going to be milking the cow. We'd hide in the loft hoping she would do that. So he would say something ugly to her. And then we would roll in the barn loft and laugh because my dad never used foul language. But if that cow messed up his milk bucket, he'd get mad and he'd blast her across her ribs with a tobacco stick, which... the PETA people would probably come after him, but he's dead now, so they can't get him.
Oh, the younger generation, the young people today, just I think they don't know what they missed. Seeing this being a part of their life,
they really don't. And when the chief was talking about Gladeville, my best boss was Claude Harris. You may have known Claude.
I've heard of him.
He's from Glade. And he said when he was a boy, he and his brother milked 15 cows every morning and every night. And he said, I would milk 7 this morning, my brother would do 8, and then we'd swap. And he said, when you milked 8 cows by hand, he said, you're ready for breakfast.
Boy.
And he said, we'd eat a dozen biscuits. And he said, Mama would cook pork chops and ham and bacon and sausage and everything. He said, and gravy, he said, and 3 or 4 eggs. He said, we were starving when we got there. But you can imagine they had a pretty grip in their hand, pretty good grip, don't you imagine?
Yes, absolutely. Jack McCall's my guest. It's time for us to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And we want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Exmark, large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. Number 1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, watching traffic volume increase 24 here by Harding Place. Still moving I-40 east as you come through Kingston Springs. All that traffic flow coming in from Dixon County this time of the morning. Yes, 24 is busy there in the Jolton area as you make your way past Whites Creek Pike, wrapping up that wreck at OHB at Copperfield Way in Brentwood. Hey, Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check out all their flavors at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
West Tree Service, locally owned and operated in Lebanon, Tennessee. With over 25 years experience, our primary goal is to provide high-quality professional service with attention to detail. At West Tree Service, we use better equipment to be more efficient, which equals reasonable prices for our customers. We offer free estimates with no obligation. We are licensed and fully insured. West Tree Service, honest service that's professional, courteous, and on time. For more information, visit westtreecare.com or call 615-456-2011.
Old Lies, Kate and Lies.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday morning. Jack McCall is with us. Jack got listening to you and forgot to watch you on the air line, but you didn't say nothing of
No, that's good.
We're talking about the Grand Canyon during the break, and you have been there many times.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that, because I've never been, and I'm not sure I would want to do what you do. But
well, how I got interested was I'd always heard about Reese Brothers, and my lab partner
are they over in Gallatin?
In Gallatin,
yeah.
I walked into the organic chemistry lab at the University of Tennessee in 1972. And this smiling, good-looking, red-headed guy was standing there, and I introduced myself, and he said, I'm Dickie Reese. And I said, no, are you the son of the famous mule trader Dick Reese? He said, I am. And so we got to be friends, and of course, they're the most famous mule traders east of the Mississippi River, Reese Brothers of Gallatin, Tennessee. And I found out later that they supplied the Grand Canyon with all their mules. Mm-hmm. The Grand Canyon mules are world famous. And that got me interested in going. And so I had a friend, I guess sometime in the 1990s, that always wanted to go. So we fly out to Phoenix and drive up to the Grand Canyon, and we ride a mule into the bottom of the Grand Canyon, spend the night at Phantom Ranch, and ride out the next day. And I've been back more than a dozen times since then.
How long did it take to go from that top canyon wall there down to the bottom.
Okay, you leave the famous Stone Corral at about 7:30, and you get to the Phantom Ranch around noon, 12:30. You go down the Bright Angel Trail, which prepares you for the next day because the South Kaibab Trail is much steeper, and the mules have to stop and rest a lot more. And you leave around 7:30, and you're out by noon.
How scary is that?
It's the first time it is scary. The second time I went back, I saw a lot of things I didn't see the first time because I was focused on that mule. And you become acquainted with the fact that the mule's not going to hurt himself. But every time they stop to rest, they face them out over the canyon, and they are literally one step away from sometimes 500 feet down. But once you learn to trust your mule, it's.
Well, I don't know. I have a fear of heights, and always have. I was on the Empire State Building and almost scared to look down. You know?
Well, I was afraid of heights before I went out there, but there are still a couple of places. There's one turn. You go down a place called the Devil's Corkscrew, and there's one turn that's called Oh Jesus. And you get to this point, and the mule, if he just took another step, he would and he just does a complete 90-degree turn and turns back, but you kind of hold your breath or shut your eyes.
Yeah. How they must have spent years learning how to train these mules, or they're experts at it. The mules do.
Well, they are, and of course the Reese brothers always send them pretty much no-fault mules. You know, I've always been told that a mule out of a Morgan mare or a walking horse mare are naturally more gentle than out of a quarter horse or a Mustang. You don't want a mule out of a quarter horse because they're not as gentle. But a mule will not hurt himself. That's the thing about, and they told me, you can train a horse to jump off a cliff on command. A mule will lay down and die before he'll hurt himself. And so they've never lost a rider. They've never lost a rider in all the years.
Well, that's a great record.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And well, there's somebody doing that nearly every day, isn't there?
Yeah, every day. For the years that I went out there, they took down 2 groups of 10 every day. Now they're only taking down 1 group of 10, but they take down 80-year-old grandmothers and children and never lost a rider.
Well, just out of curiosity, what's it cost to do that?
To stay at Phantom Ranch now in one of the cabins is about $500, so it's not terribly expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you're renting a cabin for 4 for a couple of $1,000s, and back when I was going 10 years ago, you could almost make the entire trip for about $1,000. Airfare, rental car, and everything. Of course, rental cars now are out the roof, and airfares are different, but still you could do the entire trip for about $1,300, and it's a great trip.
You doing it again?
I probably will.
But you don't have one on the agenda at this moment.
No, but and now you have a lottery to do it. You have to they book 1 year ahead, and you have to get it in. But you can still get in. I've taken all 3 of my sons, their wives, a lot of my best friends. To take the trip now is more fun for me to share the experience with someone else.
Yeah.
But I've taken a lot of people. It took a group of 10 one time.
You have written some books, and I think I'd be remiss if we didn't remind people you like to sell your books. They're available at D.T. McCall
Here in Lebanon and Lafayette, and Cox Jewelers carries my books
yes,
too.
Marty Bone.
Yep, Marty.
Okay. All right. And, of course, you have your newspaper column. I think it's still in both of our local.
It is.
You're still doing the one where you have to do the smaller edition.
I do. That's in Wartburg, Tennessee, Morgan County. It's interesting to cut a 700-word column down to 350, but you realize you can do it, and that's what I do each week.
Yeah.
They've been punishing me.
Well, what are you mostly? You're not farming anymore, are you?
Well, I've got 30 cows. My son and I have 30 cows.
Okay, well, that's a different kind of farming, but
beef
cattle?
My beef cattle, and my granddaughters are at the age now that they can show in the local fair, and so we're halter breaking a couple of calves now, and they're in the 4-H chick chain, so we've got 17 hens now. They'll start laying in. I told someone that I'm going to need to get around $9 a dozen for my eggs to ever come out of this deal. It's awful.
Well, what's your summer been like so far?
So I played.
It hasn't been as hot.
No, and I played around the golf yesterday, and it's the first time I played in probably 10 years. And I really hit the ball better than I had and previously, and it's because of what somebody told me the last time I played. Said, you're not standing with your legs far enough apart. And well, I did that yesterday, and I was really hitting the ball. It was a beautiful day, too.
Where'd you play golf?
We played up in Smithville, Tennessee, at the River Watch. It's a great course, up and down, and had a great time. But I was tired this morning.
Well, it can be relaxing, but it can be frustrating.
Oh, it can be. I parred one hole, so I'll go back now.
Nearly every time I play, regardless of how horrible it may be and how horrible my score is, I usually have at least one shot I can brag a little
Exactly.
bit.
That'll make you go back every time.
Well, do you you've been able to really support yourself with your speaking? I mean, the speakers, you work through a bureau or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they
several bureaus. Yeah.
But good speakers can get a good price, and we're not going to get into that, except just to say that you probably asked to do some free things, like being on the radio. We don't pay you to come out here, but we do mention your books and whatever. Do you do many civic clubs? Are you asked?
I do. I found one of the cardinal rules of professional speaking is not to cut your fees. Because you get in a situation where someone, well, you did this for so and so.
Right.
So I found, and I was advised, and I took their advice. The best thing to do is to do half dozen, a dozen a year, and just not charge anything, rather than really cut your fee. And so that's what I do. Yeah, I do a lot of civic stuff.
Well, one of the things I think you have written about a little bit, and I don't know much about this, but you've talked about a Bible class. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, we had 2 Sundays ago, we set a goal to have 100 guys, and we had 84. Generally run 40 or 50. I do that. It's called the Whosoever Will Men's Bible Class, and we do that in a restaurant on Sunday morning, and we're finished in time for other guys to get on to Sunday school if they want to. And then I've been doing a thing on Facebook called 10 Good Minutes or Less, and that's gone over really well. And you can just go to my Facebook page, Jack McCall and Associates, I think, and ask to be my friend, and I'll be your friend. And I started out doing 5 good minutes or less, but you couldn't develop a topic in 5 minutes, so it takes 10 minutes to kind of develop a topic. And so.
Well, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check it out. What do you mostly talk about?
I usually just whatever I taught about that Sunday morning. Only I just distill it down to just a few quick points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to. I'm a little camera shy, and it's hard to focus on the camera and read at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out a way. I may even get a TV screen with a monitor and put the camera on it where I can scroll, because I hate to look away if I'm reading a particular Bible verse. So that it's still something in progress, but gosh, I've had tremendous response on it. So
do you get are there doctrinal points that maybe
but I and I'm a storyteller, so I'll usually tell a couple of stories, and that's one thing I learned when I was 17 is the power of the parable. People love to hear stories, and that's if you can apply it to Monday, you wasted your time on Sunday.
Well, speaking of stories, you were telling me, I think one of our breaks about was it your father-in-law in a Cadillac? You asked me what year my Cadillac is, and it's an 05. It's been around a while. 137,000 miles on it.
Well, his had about 40, and he bought it in 2002, and I went with him to buy this car, and he bought it here in Lebanon, and his hand was shaking when he wrote the check. He said, "I've never written a check for this much money." Of course, now it'd probably be double.
Yeah.
Now, but. He watches a lot. Of course, during the COVID thing, his daughter couldn't even see him. We didn't see him for almost a year.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go to a wind and wave, but we just didn't see him. And so he watches a lot of TV, and he got real excited and told my wife that he believed he was going to sell his car on Carvana. So he said they'll come and get it, and so he sent in his information, and they really insulted him. They didn't offer him anything for his car.
Well, does he still have it?
No, he sold it.
Okay,
He sold it.
all
He
right.
sold it.
Well, I'm thinking that from what we hear from all the car dealers, since they can't get new ones, used ones are worth a lot more.
I'll
now.
tell you a quick story. My grandfather McCall, he had an old Pontiac Catalina, chocolate brown. The glass in the back had broken loose, and the trunk had rusted out where he salted his cattle, and then he hung the side of it with a front end loader one day and just made this gash all the way down. That rusted. One day I went by and I saw his head bobbing up and down on the other side of the car, and I looked and he had a can of liquid shoe polish, the one with the bobber, and he was painting over that rust, and he said, "I'm going to go try to trade my car." Well, he was cleaning it up.
Liquid.
And the next day I saw him and I said, "Pa, how'd the car trading go?" He said, "That darn dealer offered me $300 for my car." He didn't sell.
Jack, our time is up. Thanks for coming over this morning. And if you want any of Jack's books, they're available at DT McCall here in Lebanon
in Cox Jewelers.
Okay, here. And you got another
in Lafayette. My brother Tom is in Lafayette. The books are there.
Or you can call Lebanon and Lafayette, and at Marty Bones Cox Jewelers.
Yeah. Okay. Or you can email me at jack@jackmccall.com, and I'll send them right out to you.
All right, great. Thanks for being with us. I
You bet.
appreciate it.
You bet.
That's it for a Thursday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Friday edition. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.